It's Brad here from Little Traverse Conservancy, and as you might notice, I am right in the middle of a big cedar swamp. So I was out exploring some of our preserves. Luckily, I've got my trusty dusty compass to let me know how to get back, but I started thinking while I was out here about cedar trees. And you know, a lot of times cedar trees are just the ones we think of as what the deer are going to be eating and what we've got to wrap up in the wintertime, or maybe they're the first ones to fall on a telephone pole and we gotta cut them up or something like that. But there's another name for the cedar trees, our northern white cedars, that I will bet you've heard. It's Arborvitae, or some people say Arborvitae. And Arborvitae or vitae in Latin means tree of life. And that's because it came in very, very important for probably a lot of humans over history, but particularly for some French explorers. In 1535, Jacques Cartier was a French explorer in Canada, and pretty much his entire crew got scurvy all of a sudden. So they're out there in the wilderness in Canada, and they finally come upon this strange looking tree. They end up taking a chance on it, and they boil some of the evergreen needles, and it had enough vitamin C in it to actually cure everybody of scurvy, which I think is pretty exciting. So they had a tough time of it. Fortunately, I don't think I'll have to resort to that today, but it also reminded me while I was over here, a lot of these trees seem wind thrown, or they're busted up and fallen over. But there's an important lesson to be learned in this one, actually. Here it is right in front of us, happening in kind of almost in real time. These cedar trees, they don't seem very sturdy. They tend to fall over. Maybe they've got shallow root systems and they just kind of tip on over, but there's something kind of underneath the surface happening here. Once this big tree falls and hits the ground completely, it's going to start growing roots out of the part of the trunk that's on the ground. We'll put new roots out, and then from that trunk we'll pop maybe 3, 4, 5 brand new cedar trees, all clones of each other. So they're all direct clones of that first cedar tree. So where we just had one, now we've got maybe 5 or even 6. So as we look around, there's a good example. Those 5 trunks coming up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are probably all part of the same clone. That might have been a cedar tree that fell 50 years ago. I don't really know. So if you've ever wondered how the cedar swamps got so thick, layering is probably the culprit. So I'm gonna keep exploring. We'll see what else we can find out here.